Saturday, kids. What time is that?
That music's so cool.
I know.
I was trying to find something, like hip for the kids,
Yep.
So here we are, week 11 already, Edson. I can't believe it. We're going into the Thanksgiving week after this.
Yeah.
Crazy. This is where like life itself just like hits the gas and to the end of it.
And as we know, the season doesn't start until Thanksgiving.
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding. I was trying to do my best, Mike Francesca.
Oh, Mike Francesca?
Yeah.
Dog.
Season doesn't start till Thanksgiving.
Dog.
Back up to this.
Make it a 6-week season, dog.
I think he did. I think he used to say that all the time. Like that's that's
it was kind of his rubber hits the road time of the year.
Yeah.
December is usually where, I know at least for like Pittsburgh is where they kind of put the foot on the pedal, and they usually have really good December, except for the last 2 or 3 years. But and some teams just completely fall off in December. So it is interesting, but I like your new segment we're going to debut next week. I like that a lot.
Well, it's just a once a year thing.
Right. So week 11 buys. San Francisco, Buffalo. Buffalo will circle the wagons at home. The Bears and the Gents.
Is this the last time there's a bye? Or is there
I think there's one more. Okay. I'm not sure.
Then you get an increase of games after that.
Right. The bye weeks drive me nuts.
I know.
I'm trying to manage a fantasy team, and it's like, a couple of weeks ago, somehow I had like 60% of my team was on bye weeks. It's almost like you have to look at the schedule before you draft just to avoid having them.
Oh, yeah, you definitely do. Yeah.
It's crazy. So, week 11, I got to make some hay. I got to win at least one more than you.
Yeah.
Get it within 3. And then 3 with 6 weeks to go is striking distance.
Let's hope we have differences, because there's some here that I'm like, it's got to be this. Who knows? The NFL kicks you, though.
It does.
When you pick an obvious thing. Oh, and here's one that was hard for me.
Here we go. 1 p.m. CBS. See, I put the little... You like the new graphics?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's like, right?
Now we know. So, Cincinnati 2-6-1 at 2-7 Washington football team.
I mean, it's a hard game to pick. They're kind of like the same type of, almost the same type of team.
They are.
I think that this will be like Burrow would like have a type of like comeback game after last week's debacle. This is the type of team Washington is, where Cincinnati does well against. Like they do well against the lesser teams, and then they have a hard time against the really high teams. Mm-hmm. So I think you will have a pretty good game. Washington's defense, specifically their front four, hasn't really shown up lately. I don't know if they are going to show up, because they haven't really had a good pressure on quarterbacks lately. I don't know what happened to that front four.
No, not what's his name? Almost took Bostic.
Yeah,
John Bostic when he clocked. Who did he hit?
Dalton, right?
Dalton. That's right. Andy Dalton.
Ever since then, it's like where are they?
Yeah.
They didn't really do anything against Stafford last week either. So I think Burrow's going to have a good game, and I mean, Alex Smith is doing great, and he might continue also. But I think this Cincinnati will do enough to win a close game, so I'll go with Cincinnati.
Okay, right away we're on different page.
Okay, well that's interesting.
I'm going with the home team. I'm going to ride the Alex Smith bandwagon. They got a little tire patch on Alex Smith's wheels, and
he's doing great.
And their running backs are kicking it. So, right now I'm kind of comfortable with Washington because they're home. And I think they have a better coach. If it comes down to the coaching, Ron Rivera versus Pee Wee over there in Cincinnati. What's his name?
Hey, he's doing better than the last guy.
He is, but I'm going football team at home.
Yep.
1 p.m. Fox. We have the Falcons at the beat up Saints.
This has somehow become another difficult pick.
Yeah, it really has.
It's a division game, which is also always, hard. And the Falcons always give the Saints problems, even when they're kind of not doing well overall.
Yeah.
Now you got Taysom. It's Taysom Hill's first official start? Is that?
I'm pretty sure. It was shocking because earlier in the week it was, Jameis Winston.
Yep.
But now all of a sudden they're going with Taysom Smith. They announced that yesterday. So who knows?
I'm wondering if he's like trying to see if he can be the next quarterback after. I don't know, but I don't think he would play around with that. I think he'd want to go with the Peyton. I mean, I think he'd want to go with the best chance to win because they're really trying to win this division and maybe the first overall
The
seed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really hard for me. I'm gonna go with the Saints, but I'm not like really confident. It's more I know you said Kamara was banged up, but I think he's still playing, right?
He better because he's on my fantasy team.
I'm hoping that he will play, and
I'm gonna fire him.
It will be. I will be interested in watching this game because just to see what kind of like quarterback Taysom Hill is as a full-time quarterback. And I think the Saints defense is good enough to hold back mostly the Falcons offense. So I'll go with the Saints.
I'm also going to go with the Saints only because they're home. If they had to go to the Georgia Dome or whatever they call the Mercedes-Benz Palace or whatever, I would flip it. But because they're home, and not that it matters without fans, it just feels like they don't have to travel. They don't have to stay in hotels. They're home. And I think that'll give them the extra edge. Hill is a gimmick. He's like Tim Tebow.
I know.
But that might be beneficial for a week because the Falcons won't have much film on the guy. So, and Sean Payton, let's face it, Sean Payton he's kind of nuts. He'll figure something out. Raheem Morris is doing great over there. He's got them at 3-3 since he took over in Atlanta. But I don't think they're going to have enough to overcome the Saints.
I mean, it wouldn't be a shocker to me if it went the other way, but
right. Next up, we got Pittsburghers at the Jacksonville.
I would think you'd probably only want to watch maybe the first quarter of this game. Although Jacksonville surprised Green Bay, so who knows?
Well, James Robinson had a big game, but I think he might be out, or if he's not, he's going to be playing hurt.
Jeez.
And that kind of sets the tone for them. If they can control the ball, they can hang around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Steelers are just going to beat them up.
I mean, Jacksonville, their defense doesn't do much. Their offense, especially with now Luton in there. What chance do you give them? Got to go with the Steelers.
None. No, I mean, there's always the idea that Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt and Mason Rudolph has to play, and he throws 3 picks, and who knows, right? I mean, that's why they play.
Right.
But I don't see it.
Just as you said, I was thinking as I was looking at this game, I was thinking, I think this is a game where the Steelers kind of just want to get out of there with no major injuries.
Exactly. And I think they're going to be doing the other thing that can help Jacksonville is I think they'll be rotating their bench in a lot because they have a game 40 against the Ravens. So, not that you want to look past the Jaguars to the Ravens on Thursday.
Yeah.
But you have to look past the Jaguars to the Ravens on Thursday. That said, I think the Steelers are out no matter what. I mean, even though it's been a horror show for Ben down there. Every time he plays down there.
Really? Okay.
Horrible. Of course, the last time he was down there, they had a much better team at the time.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I think Pittsburgh and you too.
Yes.
Steelers. Okay. New England going to Houston. This is a
tough game.
This is a tough game. And I've gone back and forth 3 or 4 times on this, just like I did last week with the Patriots, and picked wrong. I got a feeling I picked wrong again.
I think that the Patriots have now kind of righted their ship a little bit with 2 wins in a row, and I think Belichick is way too good to let them kind of give a game away from their point of view, kind of give a game away when they're close to kind of just being in contention again. They win this game, they're at 500, and I don't think he's going to let them blow a game against a 2-7 team. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Well, we're different again.
Okay.
I'm taking Houston at home. I agree with everything you just said, New England. This is why I've gone back and forth with this game. But for some reason, I just think Deshaun Watson at home, they're allowed to have fans in Texas, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So he'll have some fans in the building. I just have a feeling that they're almost the same team. Houston's not a 2-7 team. They're like 4-5, 5-4. That's who they really are, right? So I'm gonna take Houston at home. A close game, but I just think I don't trust New England yet. I don't care what it looked like. It's hard to trust them. What do we got left here? Okay, next up we got this one. If I can find it, where is it? Here it is. The Beagles at the Brownies.
Oh, another tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't trust either one of these teams, but if until the Eagles show up with something, I'm not going to pick them. And I'm hoping. The Browns, I think, are hoping that their running game will be there. They rely on their running game now that they have both backs back, both Chubb and Hunt. Hopefully, their running game, from their point of view, their running game will work and keep the ball out of Mayfield's hands for not making too many mistakes. And I think their defense isn't great, but you don't need a great defense to kind of force mistakes from this Eagles offense at this point. It's just basically, and until the Eagles show me something, I'm not going to pick them. So I'll go with the Browns. Okay.
Myles Garrett is on the COVID list. He cannot play this weekend.
Okay. That's something.
That said, I still think the Eagles are chuckers.
They are.
And this will be the week, Cleveland at home. It's the logical choice. They're the better team until they're not. But I'm with you. I got to go Cleveland at home for that. The Myles Garrett thing does concern me a little bit.
It does.
Because he would make Carson Wentz do something stupid at least once, if not 2 or 3 times. Right? I mean, let's face it, Carson Wentz, he just throws it up. So with him gone, I don't know if they're, like you said, they're going to get a pass rush on him. And he does have a talented stable of receivers.
Yep, he does.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Watch, this will be the week that they blow somebody out. Ugh.
That's who the Eagles are.
I
That's
know.
who they're capable. One week they look like they belong in the playoffs, and the next week they look like they don't belong getting the number 1 draft pick. It's beyond bizarre.
But this year we haven't seen much of the other Eagles, the ones that they belong in the playoffs. So
no, we haven't.
We're still waiting for that.
Well, like I said in our recap show, flashes of brilliance. Like 2 quarters they look awesome, 3 quarters they look bad, 1 quarter they look awesome, 2 quarters they look bad. It's not. They can't put a full game together. It seems like.
Right.
Detroit at Carolina. I don't know. Is Teddy Bridgewater? He's not playing, is he? He was questionable last time I saw.
They're still saying it's a game time decision, but it doesn't look good for him.
No,
and they still don't have McCaffrey either.
Right.
This kind of goes against everything that I believe in the NFL, but I'm actually going to pick the Lions 2 weeks in a row, which is not a good formula. But because Bridgewater, I don't think is going to play. They still don't have McCaffrey, and the Lions will come in with a full strength. I know that Stafford had a little bit of an injury, but he is playing. I'm still going to go with the Lions, I guess.
I'm going to go with the Lions for one reason and one reason only. Because this is the carrot they dangle their fans before Thanksgiving. Oh, look, we're going to be 5-5 going into Thanksgiving. And then they'll get their asses kicked on Thanksgiving, and they won't win again.
And then it does seem to follow their pattern.
That's their pattern, right? So, I'm with you. I just think with Bridgewater out and McCaffrey out, I know Davis runs the ball okay,
Yeah.
but I just don't. I don't. Matt Rule's done a good job with this team.
I know, and the Carolina is definitely better coached.
And I don't really trust the Lions on grass
I know.
either. I mean,
I
I'm about
know.
to-
I went back and forth on this, but
I might scribble it out and go with the Panthers because the Lions are so bizarre. I don't even know what they are. I'll stick with Detroit.
Gotta stick with that initial instinct.
Yeah, exactly. I've already scribbled the Houston, New England out so many times. Here's another tough game to call. It's going to be very interesting to see how this one turns out.
Yes, that's a tough one.
This is the game of the week right here.
Yeah.
Both teams have had the same kind of season.
They have.
Both teams are on 2-game losing streaks.
Fast start, and then they kind of they've been
Came
kind of stumbling around.
Yep.
Not doing very well.
Both offenses look borderline inept. If they can't run the ball, either team, Derrick Henry runs the ball, Tennessee's fine. If the running back by committee in Jackson can run the ball in Baltimore, they're fine. Either team, if they have to start throwing it, not so good.
Not so good. I know. I'm going to go with the Ravens only because, Tannehill has been, well, not just him, but the Titans offense hasn't been doing very well recently. But on top of that, their defense isn't that great either. And I at least can say the Ravens defense is decent.
Yeah.
So basically, it's not much to go on, really, because like you said, they're exactly the same team. But I'm going to go with the. I was looking at my notes. I think this is one where the Titans, a lot of people, the bulk of the Titans or a lot of personnel from the Titans defense has been on the kind of like COVID restricted. They haven't been able to they're going to play, but they haven't been able to practice all week. A bunch of players from the defense. I think this is what I wrote in my, yep. And so that also is a factor. So I'll go with the Ravens.
That said, they had 2 weeks off because of COVID once and came out and
good. That's a good point. That kind of plays against what I said. Yep.
I get your point though, but they are going to Baltimore. They're going into that house of horrors where the Ravens are really tough to beat in Baltimore. Only one team I know of that did it so far. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I just think because the Titans defense is so bad on third down, just so bad.
Yeah.
Baltimore will probably be in a lot of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 sets where they're going to be able to just run the ball, do some RPO. Nobody's scared of the Ravens spreading the field, right?
No, definitely not.
But I'm scared of the Ravens on 3rd and anything where they know they can run the ball or run Lamar and do some kind of crazy RPO stuff. So, yeah, I'm with you. Ravens at home. Because let's face it, too, if the Ravens lose with the Steelers so far away out in front of them, it's
oh my gosh,
over.
Oh, I know. It's almost already borderline over, but with this game, another loss, that's it. They're
right
done for the division.
Right.
And they'll be scrambling to even make the playoffs with another loss. Because there's I don't know, a bunch of teams that are 6-3 right now.
Colts, the Raiders, they're all right there.
The Browns.
The Browns, right. So ironically, you just mentioned too that it goes the other way with Baltimore. If Jacksonville somehow upsets Pittsburgh, and then if Baltimore beats the Steelers Thursday night on Thanksgiving, suddenly the Ravens are 1 game out of first.
Yeah.
It can turn that quick.
It can turn that quick.
So in 1 week, they can make up 2 games.
Okay.
Who cannot make up any games are the New York Jets.
Not much.
No.
Are they mathematically eliminated yet?
Not yet.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, they must be. They
gotta be.
Yeah, they gotta be.
I mean, even the Chargers are close to it by now. Jeez. I mean, I'm hoping, and I think it will happen, that Herbert will finally get another. Well, this will be would be his second win, I guess. I think he'll do very well in this game, and the Chargers will actually hold on to it. not give it back to the opposing team coming back. I mean, it's against the Jets. I don't think Darnold's playing.
I was just going to say, is it Flacco again?
I think it's Flacco, but that doesn't mean that's so bad because Flacco's been doing very well for them, actually. So that's not really that big of a thing, but I think the Chargers will do enough to win.
I agree. I don't think the Jets secondary is going to be able to stop that passing game.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to put up too many points, and the Jets offense is anemic. They cannot get into a shootout with anybody.
Right.
So I feel like it's curtains for the Jets, and they're going to go to 0-10. Ow.
Yeah.
Ow. Looking for your game here. Oh, I got the records transposed. I'm sorry. I'll have to fix that.
Well,
the record backwards.
I mean, that sounds about right.
The Broncos are 3-6. The Dolphins are 6-3.
Sounds about right what I thought the Dolphins would be like this year, but
yeah, right.
They surprised me that they've won 5 in a row. I can't get over that. 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And this is a type of game where I think, maybe the NFL is going to be like a bring them down to earth type thing, but I just can't pick against them right now. Against the Broncos, where they're playing the Broncos. I mean, I think their defense is doing so well, and I think they'll cause a lot of mistakes from Locke in the Broncos offense. We've mentioned how the special teams always participates and makes these game-changing plays, and Tua will do well too. And they found the running game last week too. On top of that, so I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I am also Miami at home all the way. I'm going to ride them until they fail me. They're so well coached. We talked about it on the recap show. All 3 phases of their game are A+ right now. So they're going to be, they're hungry. They could still win the division.
Yeah, it's that Buffalo last minute loss last week.
Right.
That was puts them back into the division.
Mm-hmm. So. If I would just put the record properly. Next.
Oh, gosh.
Dallas at Minnesota. At home, dog.
I mean, Minnesota is on a streak, and they're clearly superior to the Cowboys right now. I mean, not many teams, almost all the teams can say that. Probably all the teams can say that. The way the Cowboys are playing. I mean, their defense has showed up the last couple of weeks. Not last week because they're on the bye, but previous to that. And they are coming out of the bye, so they must be healthier. That doesn't mean that their quarterback's going to be great. I was kind of surprised because what is the guy's name? Gilbert, who did well against the Steelers. Well, did okay against the Steelers. Not well. Did okay against the Steelers, but actually looked like he was, ready to play.
He was poised and comfortable.
Yeah, poised is right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised they're bringing the Trot and Dalton back on, who never kind of looked that way playing for the Cowboys this year.
I agree.
I'm kind of like surprised they wouldn't keep Gilbert playing. I know Dalton is officially their backup, but still, I don't like that move. But
they're going with the veteran.
Yeah, I get it.
Experience. He might be on a short leash though. If he looks like he did the first 2 times he played. He won't.
Yeah, exactly.
He might be.
But regardless, Minnesota has a lot too much talent. They have a great running game. Cousins can make some plays, and their defense is really good.
Yeah, I think Cousins had a slow start to the season. Getting Dalvin Cook back really helps.
Yeah,
Dallas, their defense might stop Dalvin Cook, but then they got to deal with Thielen and Jefferson. So. Yeah, forget about it. I'm also going Minnesota at home. Next up, another tough one, man. This is a tough one.
That is a really tough one.
It's another scribble game. Scribble it out, change it, scribble it out, change it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I keep repeating myself, but the Colts defense is good.
Yes.
I didn't realize how good they were until I actually watched them play.
The Baltimore they're fast.
It's one thing to like see the stats, and their stats are like they're number 1 in least amount of yardage given up, for whatever that's worth, I guess. But they're good. And Green Bay is one of those teams that kind of like is very up and down. I don't think they've been tested a lot, and the teams that they go up against that were like really good teams, they've lost. They had that scare against Jacksonville last week. I'm going to go with the Colts here.
That scare against Jacksonville was at home too.
Yep.
Not in Jacksonville. So, yeah, I'm going to go Colts here too. I have that theory of mine with the Packers where if Rodgers can't get the ball to either Jones or Adams, they're dead. And I think the Colts defense is going to take away Jones and Adams, or at least one of them.
Right.
So, and then, the cast of characters around the rest of them are just not that good. If I were Aaron Rodgers at the end of the season, I would ask to get out of there and go somewhere where he has a chance at getting a ring, because look at how they drafted this year. Their number one pick, they picked a practice squad quarterback.
Yep.
With their number one overall pick. I don't get why they would do that. But
they didn't give him any help.
None. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go Colts at home because I think there's just too many holes in the Packers. And there's only so much that Rodgers and Jones and Adams can do. There's three of them, and the rest of the team's efficient just about everywhere else. Next up, we got the toughest game to call besides Tennessee and the Ravens, maybe.
Yeah, the Raiders, beat them. And they're only Kansas City's only loss.
Not just beat them bad.
They
beat them up.
I still think that game was kind of like Kansas City. It's hard to say this because they shouldn't have been taken by surprise. It's a division game. They should have never take. I don't think Kansas City should ever take them lightly, but for some reason I think they got kind of like surprised.
They were
the Raiders
too at Arrowhead, where
they were, and it's hard. So it's hard to say that somebody like that, but I think they're going to be more prepared for them. And the Raiders have been going on this hot streak, but I think Kansas City will be able to beat them. I think they're going to like have a kind of like a revenge game. And if they lose this game, then the division might be at stake at this point. So I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Tough game to call.
Yeah, it is.
Because this one would favor the Raiders because they're home over the first time when they were in Kansas City.
Right.
Logically, anyway. But yeah, I'm kind
Where
of.
does logic take you in an NFL?
No, especially in this division game. I agree with you. I think there's too much at stake for Andy Reid to lay another egg against this team. If the Raiders do somehow win this game, then they have clearly figured out matchups. Right. They've solved the matchup issues with the Chiefs, and they own the Chiefs, which changes the whole dynamic going into the playoffs. It'll change everything going into the playoffs. But for now, I'm with you. I got to stick with the Chiefs at home.
And what I forgot, but I'm going to correct myself from earlier. It was not the Titans that had the missing defensive players. It was in fact the Raiders.
The Raiders.
That's what had it. I apologize. I apologize to the Titans officially. That was my other point of picking the Chiefs, because it was a bunch of Raiders personnel on defense that didn't practice this week.
Like 5 of them. Yeah. They're going to play. They are today.
But they didn't practice. Yep.
But they didn't practice. Right. Monday Night Football on ESPN. You got the LA Rams going against the.
Hey, this is another tough one.
There's a lot this week.
I'm hoping it's a good game.
I think it will be. Tom Brady admitted that he's not playing well.
Oh, okay. After that last game?
After Bruce Arians has been outing him how many times now?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen that. I think that relationship is strained already. Bruce Arians, starting week 1, has thrown Tom under the wheels of the bus multiple times in the press.
It's strange.
Which is strange, because Belichick never did that to him. And he had a strained relationship with Bill. And now he goes to Tampa Bay, and his coach is throwing him under the wheels of the bus routinely. Yeah. Challenging his manhood and all kinds of stuff. Like, okay. Yeah. Challenging his courage. Like, Really? Guy's got 6 Super Bowl rings, Bruce Arians. You have 0.
That is
maybe
very
1.
weird. I mean, does he think that's going to motivate him? That's weird. That's not good.
I don't think their personalities mesh at all.
Jeez.
I just don't.
I mean, the Rams do have a good secondary and can maybe take some of his targets away.
But how many? He's got so many.
Yeah, I know he's got a lot. Not. I mean, that wasn't leading up to me picking the Rams. I'm just saying. I'm thinking this. I think this will be a good game. It'll be a closer game than than Bucks Carolina, or Saints Bucks.
Right.
But I'm still gonna go with Tampa Bay. I just think that the Rams defense has something where they can keep it close, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams won. I'm just not picking them.
I'm with you. I actually have the Spidey sense is tingling that this is the week Antonio Brown goes off.
Oh,
I think he's going off, like 2 touchdowns,
really?
10 catches, kind of off. Yeah, I feel like it's going to happen. So I'm also going Tampa Bay at home. So, all right. Those are our picks for the week of, what is it, week 11.
11. Yep.
And just as a refresher, my record overall, 23-16. You are 27-12, so I trail by 4.
What do we have, like 2 or 3? Head to head here. It was at least 2. I know that because I noticed that at the beginning, but I don't know if it was made it to 3.
It's at least 2, yeah.
So if you can make up those, that'll be
at least 1. If I can get one of them. Although if I only win 1, then I
know we'll still be.
I have to win 2. So we'll see. But we're going to come back for Thanksgiving, right? We're going to do a quick little Thanksgiving show. That'll be fun.
Well, we definitely gotta, pick the Thanksgiving games. There's too many games to let go.
Yeah,
so
3 of them. Yeah. So awesome. All right. We will see you guys somewhere in the next couple days.
Yep.
If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the little bell icon to be notified anytime someone from our show drops new content here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?